Hello traders, welcome to my channel. So I wanted to make for you a super quick volume profile trading tutorial, just explaining what volume profile is in a nutshell. Okay, so first things we gotta differentiate is most of you are used to using a volume indicator, which is plotted on the x-axis, meaning on the time and date axis on your charts at the bottom. This volume, what it indicates is just the amount of buying or selling for the specific candle in a certain time period or whatever period you're using for your charts. Volume profile, on the other hand, is plotted vertically in the price axis, meaning that is going to measure the buying or selling activity at different price levels. So as you can see, the further out, the more extended the profile is. That means there was more buying and selling activity at that specific price level. So volume profile shows us what prices buyers and sellers are more interested in buying or not. Okay, within the volume profile, we got a few main elements. We have what we call the value area. This is based off of a distribution curve as a bell, as you can see here. Pretty much one standard deviation from the mean on each side would be 34 plus 34. It's about 68%. Some platforms standard come on 70, but I like to use 68. What that means is, based on this entire profile that we have here, this value area right here in gray, this is where 68% of the total traded volume for this period was contained. This value area is going to have boundaries, which we're going to call value area high, which is the top edge of value area, and value area low, which is the bottom edge. And the profile is going to have what we call a point of control, which is basically the point that is most extended out, meaning this is the price level of this profile as a whole that had the most traded volume here, and it's always going to be the area where you see the most confluence of candles in this area. Okay, now the second part and elements of volume profile that are really important to understand is what we call nodes. So whenever you have a volume profile, you'll see that you have this sort of curve shapes like this. So each one of these curves here represents what we call a high volume node. The bigger it is, the more volumes we accumulated in this area. So think of it like if you see a market and it's trending, wherever it accumulates volumes, this areas is what's going to form a high volume node, because we have a lot of price being traded at this price levels. Whereas where you have impulsive moves with not a lot of volume, that's what we call a low volume node. Low volume nodes are areas where very little volumes are accumulated. As you can see on this chart here, this area right here, this low volume node area, we only had a quick move through this area. One rejection is resistance, and then a couple rejections, a few rejections as support, but we did not build any value like we did, for example, in this area here, where we traded around here and build up all this volume here. Okay, so every profile is going to have one main point of control, which in this case would be here, the most prominent point. But each profile is going to have its own little high volume nodes, some bigger than the others, and all the edges of the high volume nodes is what we're going to consider the low volume node areas. And as you can see, low volume node areas coincide with support and resistance levels, which is what we're going to talk about next. So why is volume profile so useful? Well, it's very useful because it's a very quick and easy way to plot support and resistance levels. If you see this whole profile that I did for this whole movement here, these purple areas that I marked are basically low volume node areas. They're the edges of high volume nodes. As you can see here, there's one here, for example, this is a whole node, but we do have a cut here in the center of the node, which you can see coincided most recently with resistance and support levels. But you can see how the edges of high volume nodes are always the areas where we're going to have rejections and support and resistances. And these levels, just like in regular support resistance trading, once these levels are broken, then we expect the opposite reactions from the other sides, flipping support into resistances. Obviously, there's a lot more in-depth strategies with this, but I'm just giving you the basics. Now, volume profile types. There's a few different types, but I'm only going to talk about the three main ones that I think are worth using. First one is going to be the periodic volume profile. This is a Bitcoin chart, and we have weekly volume profiles. So each one of this volume profile is going to encompass 7 days of trading in the crypto market. Then we have a Forex chart. And in this case, this is a monthly volume profile. So you can see how this is daily candles. And here we have June. Here we have July, here we have August, September, October, November. So you can see you can set volume profiles for higher time frames if you want to use them as confluence for more long-term swing trading, etc. Then we have the fixed range volume profile. This profile, you're basically just hinging it from one point of the chart to whatever point in the chart you want, and it plots you the volume profile for this whole area. Or we can use a fixed range volume profile going from one point of the chart all the way to the end, which is the one that I use the most, especially for my higher time frame analysis. And then finally, we have these session volume profiles, which depending on the market varies by hours. Here we have a 5-minute dollar-yen Forex chart. So we have a session volume profile here, which goes from 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Then another one 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. As you know, Forex is a 24-hour a day, 5-day-a-week market. So we would get one profile per day, Monday through Friday. If we go into crypto, this is Ethereum, $5-minute chart. We have 24-hour periods as well, and you know crypto never stops, so you pretty much get 7 24-hour profiles per week. So each session will be 24 hours going from 7 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern. And then stocks, we have same thing. This is a chart of Apple from NASDAQ 5-minute. We have our profiles, in this case, only covering market hours from 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern, and then the same the next day. So stock market is only open between those times, 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Those are the regular stock market hours. And then to finish, we have futures market. We have a special case in futures market, which is the main market I trade. I trade the E-mini S&P. We have a 5-minute chart here. And what we can notice from futures is we actually, the whole day profile is divided into two sections. One section is what we call extended trading hours, ETH, which opens at 6 p.m. Eastern time in the evening and goes all the way until the next morning when the regular stock market opens at 9:30 a.m. all the way until the settlement and close for the day at 5 p.m. So those are the futures market hours. And You can see the extended hours pretty much covers the main Asia market opens, Tokyo, Hong Kong. Then at 3 a.m. we got London open and the main European markets. So we do have some influx of volumes on those openings, but definitely regular market hours when the stock market is open is when we have the most amount of volume traded in terms of contracts and size. But it is still very useful to have the split profile because you want to use your previous profiles, extended hours or regular trading hours in your decisions as well. Okay, but anyway, that's a whole summary of what volume profile is. Thank you all for watching. Hope this has been insightful. Check out my channel playlist because I have a lot more in-depth guides into volume profile, but this is just a little crash course into it. Hope you like it. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.